Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Frantic Nerdcast, episode 59. We are digital.
Yay.
Woo!
Sorry, guys.
So you all get to experience the fun of delays, my shitty internet, and all the things that go along with it.
Yes. Unfortunately, this week caught a little bit of sickness over here, and rather than share it with the fellas, we decided to stay as far away from each other as possible and still have some random fucking nonsense that we talk
in all
about
honesty,
anyways.
you probably got it from me anyway.
Nerdcast, even more frantic.
Exactly.
Okay, well, first off, I think we should start with the one that we're all going to talk about anyway, and that is, as of recording this, on the 27th of March, Marvel made themselves a gigantic fucking announcement, which I'm not 70% happy with and 30% pissed off with.
Yeah.
I'm probably more 50-50, to be honest.
It pissed me off that they announced some of the names they announced, because I would have rather seen that in the movie theater.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the downside of the internet these days.
It was one of those things where I watched it because I seen a couple little snippets, like as you do, like the screenshots that we get.
Before we go too much further, what is the rumor?
It's not a rumor. It's Marvel.
Well, what is the news?
Marvel announced their definite cast for Avengers Doomsday because it is in production as of today.
Yeah, exactly. So with the announcement of that, there was several names that came out, which it was interesting because when they got announced, the typical thing happened. Every single person who reports on this stuff grabbed a few of the names and did a little post. And then someone else would grab a few names and do a little post. So I seen three of them and they were all different. I'm like, what the fuck happened
I thought it was fake at first.
Yeah, so did I. I'm like, okay, let's go have a look at Marvel because this seems like a Marvel announcement. And then I watched the reel. I'm like, right, okay, now I know why people are just fucking throwing shit out there because they're all real. But hey, let's fucking drip feed everywhere.
They were drip feeding it because the video that Marvel did it live, because I caught the end of it live, and Marvel did it live, and it was just a really slow movement, so that's why they were drip feeding the fuck out of it. But then if you watch it back, they did a fast version.
Exactly.
So,
and I think it was personally very well done. When it came out, we'll get to the names in a second. But when the names came up, I'm like, fuck yeah! And then once it was finished, I'm like, oh fuck! Like I just felt so defeated once it was out there. I'm like,
it's one of those things where again, it's great they put it out there because it's going to generate the hype. But at the same time, as AJ said, a lot of that hype is going to be lost now when you watch the movie because you're already going to know you were expecting something around the corner, not what you won't get that surprise and shock factor like we could have had.
It is literally DC and Marvel having a fucking pissing contest.
Pretty much.
What did DC do?
Oh, no, because that's what James Gunn has been doing. He's been smashing social media, releasing this and releasing that. We've got this coming. Look at this. Look at me, look at me, look at me. So Marvel said, hey, look at us too. It's like the pissing contest means that we're going to see the movie and know everything about it before it comes out. And to be honest, I
understand why DC is doing it because they need to generate hype for people to go and see it. But Marvel don't. The fact you've got Downey Jr. already announced as Dr. Doom in Doomsday, everyone's going to go and see it. You could have hidden the fact. But my biggest concern is now, with some of those casts, it looks like it's almost going to be an Avengers versus X-Men movie style.
Anyways, let's get the list out and then
instead of saying the actors' names, because half of the actors I went, who the fuck is that? We'll say the characters that are in the movie. So of course we have Doctor Doom, Thor, Captain America, Black Panther, Namor, M'Baku, Ant-Man, the Falcon, Bucky, Bob/Sentry, John Walker, Ghost, Red Guardian, Yelena, aka Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Loki, Beast, Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, The Thing, Human Torch, Gambit, Nightcrawler, Mystique, Cyclops, Magneto, and Professor X. And now on the X-Men note, they are the OG actor X-Men. So like James Marsden, what's her name that's playing Mystique?
For Mystique, I wrote it down.
What's her name?
On this fucking list.
Romano.
More down below.
What's her name?
Yeah, Rebecca Roman.
Yeah.
Alan Cumming, Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, James Marsden,
And Channing Tatum. The one I'm pissed off about, I didn't want to know Tom Hiddleston was in the fucking movie.
That was the big one for me, massive one. Because he is the guy who's been more or less the most adamant that he wasn't coming back.
Yep.
And I mean, it was just to see his name up there. I was genuinely like, fuck yeah. And again, as soon as it finished, I'm like, I wish I found that out during the movie. And then so now it's like, ugh. But then the other big one for me that I really thought about was all of the characters from Thunderbolts have been there. It's like, okay, well, fuck. We know that
they survive,
fine, don't we?
Everyone's fine. And you know it's going to lead straight into Doomsday then. So it wouldn't surprise me if you see something like from Downey Jr. in the cutscene or something like that.
Oh, no, Downey Jr. will be in Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But exactly. So I literally think the announcement of this list, as much hype as it has built all around the fucking globe, people are that excited. I think there is going to be more people once the dust is settled who are like, why the fuck did you do this?
Yeah.
I genuinely think that.
The other thing I'm worried about too with it is, people like, Loki's going to be in it, but is Loki going to be in it just for a small bit now, which is going to upset people because they were hyped to see him back in the movie and he's just there for a small bit part scene? Like, I'd rather just not mention half those names and just let them appear organically throughout the movie.
Well, I mean, the big thing is they haven't named all the characters, obviously, because we don't have Tom Holland there. So Spider-Man hasn't been announced. None of the Young Avengers have been announced. Moon Knight hasn't. Daredevil hasn't. Like She-Hulk, if that ever happens again. But like none of those other big characters that are the current big characters of the MCU were announced, sort of thing. So, obviously there's going to be a lot of characters that haven't been announced that are going to be in it. I feel like these are the bit players that they've announced.
Yeah, that was my thought.
Besides,
they're going to have
Thor
whether they
like
do or don't have impact. Do or don't have a prominent on screen. They'll have a big impact in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. So I have a feeling like some of them, like obviously Fantastic Four are going to be a big part of it because Doom is their major villain.
Correct.
I'd say Ant-Man may have a fair big part on it because his technology is essentially what did Endgame. That was the time travel and all that kind of stuff, the quantum realm. So I'd say he'll probably have a big part in it. The X-Men, I don't think they're going to play a big part. I think it's more an introduction.
I don't know. I think it'll be some fucking... That one there, I think, is going to be a little bit more of Xavier watching what's going on from a fucking school and everybody's in the school. It'll be something like that. And their prominence will be... Like, they'll be in the movie a fair bit, but it'll be, in my opinion, maybe a bit backseat.
Yep.
They'll just be in it a lot, but as backseat. And then when Secret Wars comes through, they'll just have much more involvement. Potentially. Fuck.
See, this is what I like. This is not knowing the people not named. They're the ones I like talking about because they're the ones you can speculate. You can come up with theories, and then when the movie airs, you're like, oh, I wasn't right, or you're like, I was fucking right. But now that they've told us all the characters that are in it, it's like, oh, fucking.
Yeah,
you've ruined the fun, Marvel. You blew out the birthday candles before the cake came out.
I think DC and Marvel need to calm the fuck down and say, hey, like honestly, like to your point before, Zach, how you said, DC needed to do it to build up the hype. No, they didn't. James Gunn took over DC. There's your hype. Hey, we're doing a Superman movie. Sweet. There's your hype. Let's not say anything about it. There's your fucking hype. We don't know what's happening. We don't know what's going on. They're doing a Superman movie. This is who's in it. Fuck. Like, let's go. Okay, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Because that's where all the hype around the Marvel movies occurred previously. Because all they would do is introduce one little character at the end. And that said, hey, this is going to be our next movie. But now, as we've spoken about previously, we now know the next 27 years of movies. And we know the whole fucking cast now as well, so long before it comes out that it just deflates a lot of that excitement.
Marvel also built up that sort of respect and trust with the audience with dropping that one character in the cutscene because the previous movie was good to watch. The movie before that was good to watch. Like the first few Iron Mans was good. The first Captain America was good. So they built up that trust, so that way they only needed those little tidbits to hook you in to go for the next one. But because
Which means
DC
they don't need to do it anymore.
No, exactly.
We're doing a movie.
I agree for Marvel, but why I said for DC, I think DC still need to do something, maybe not to the extent they're doing, but because DC's previous movies weren't as successful, and a lot of the mainstream and casual viewers did not enjoy them, they need to sort of pump up the hype again to get people to come back and see the next.
I disagree.
I think for how much superhero, like how much Marvel and is at the forefront, and those types of movies are at the forefront of the cinema that we watch these days. I think DC will always be putting movies forward. They'll always be doing movies in some way, shape, or form. They are trying to do something up to the level of Marvel. To be quite honest, they probably won't get there, and they'll be doing some form of fucking reboot every 5 years with a new Batman, Superman, whatever. We'll still get the movies. We'll still get the same or similar hype around them. And unfortunately, they probably will fall short because Marvel's got, 15, 16 years ahead of them now.
Well, that's the thing. Marvel always, like, they were dominant. They were out in front. DC were good when they just released movies. Like, when Man of Steel came out, it was a good movie. And there was no world building or any of that shit talking. This isn't the DCU. There was no DCU. It was just like movie. I was like, that's good. As soon as they started trying to world build and being like, oh, we need to be like Marvel, that's when it all went to shit, in my opinion, for DC.
I've said that before, though. I think DC's problem with that was not that they world builded. They just did it too quick to catch up to Marvel. Because Marvel didn't do it overnight. It took a bunch of fucking movies to get to that point. Whereas DC tried to rush it to get to that point straight away. I think that was their problem. They should have just followed Marvel's track record. Take the same amount of time, maybe a little bit shorter, but take your time to put your effort into to build that backstory, so then you can go and tell those grandest tales.
Well, one of the things about DC that I've always found, like between Marvel and DC, I've always found in the Marvel comics, they're a lot more, like there are the big global out there fucking things and universes and all that kind of stuff. But when they do crossovers, they've never really done that big multiversal shit. There's only always been like a big one and then a big one here kind of thing. Whereas I've always found DC, whenever they do crossovers, they're always big fucking crossovers. So it's always, I think it's hard for them to come to that big crossover thing, because it's always a universal thing or a fucking galaxy thing or outer space and lanterns, and because so many of their characters are just OP as fuck. Whereas when you look at Marvel's characters, they're big heroes. Like the big, really super famous ones aren't OP as fuck. There's no Superman that's a big famous one. There is essentially a Batman, but that kind of thing. And I think that could be their problem as well. They don't really have those grounded stories that Marvel, even though Marvel stories aren't really fucking grounded, but if you get what I mean, that kind of, yeah.
Yeah, well, Marvel has a lot more of your neighborhood superheroes, like your Daredevils, your Spider-Mans and things like that don't... I know Spider-Man's probably not the best one for that example.
Well, he is. He's a friendly neighborhood Spider.
I know, but you have Spider-Man in space and shit like that. He has all those sorts of arcs where, they have that more that more neighborhood, like street-level hero.
He was a Fantastic Four for a while.
That seems to be more grander.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, let's jump off the Marvel bandwagon because we've been on it for a while, and let's just talk about our generic fucking rumors that we love talking about that Facebook serves us and are never true.
Exactly. All right, who's going to kick us off?
I'll start.
I'll start.
No, I'm starting. Fuck you.
Oh, no,
previously, I've had a rumor that Dua Lipa was going to be one of the characters in Hercules live action movie. Apparently, that is incorrect.
She's been cast now, hasn't she?
Apparently, it's incorrect. Zane Phillips will be playing Hercules. Michael Keaton will be playing Hades. Killing Eve's Jodie Comer, who was an amazing actor, has been cast as Meg. And Danny DeVito will be returning to voice Phil, the trainer.
Yeah, right.
And apparently, Jennifer Hudson will be the lead in The Gospel Muses. And Stanley Tucci is taking on an expanded role as Hermes, and Simon Pegg and Nick Frost will be playing the demons Pain and Panic.
Okay, I can see it.
Yeah,
That'll work.
Who knows? We'll see what happens.
Look forward to seeing that when it comes out. So I spoke about this a bit off.
I look forward to it failing when it comes out.
Warhammer has just dropped a brand new release today, and the big one is being Cathay. The army has finally arrived into the old world. It's always been a region that's talked about in the lore and things like that, but we've never.
Sorry, what are they called?
Cathay.
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 So you go there and you get a cappuccino, long black, some almond milk.
So just to continue before AJ derails me again, because it'll happen on the next lines. So effectively, they are the Jade Warriors. So basically, following a Chinese terracotta warrior sort of theme. You've got a bunch of warriors, Jade Knights on horse, or Jade Lancers, on horses, cannons and things, rocket batteries. But then you also get some cool little Chinese dragons and giant terracotta warrior models. So that will be cool looking, seeing that on a tabletop. So I'm keen to see someone more skilled than I painting them on a tabletop.
I look forward to seeing them and the price tag that goes along with them.
Yeah, I'll wait till they come out on ChinaCast if I'm going to buy them and buy them through there.
Yeah, because I guarantee you those terracotta fucking knights or whatever they are, they'll be like $300 a model.
Yeah, we're going to say the great unclean ones, things like that, they rival you nearly $300 Australian. So I'd say they'd be $200 plus. But I could be wrong. They might shock us and be cheap for a change. But no, I'll wait for China.
I know we talk about plastic crack as the hobby of miniature collecting. Games Workshop have heard that and gone, we're going to make that saying, we're going to make that true. So our models will cost more than crack.
Mate, being on illicit substances is cheaper than buying Warhammer legally. like it's without a doubt.
I'm going to do a quick back-to-back. One of the games that we've spoken about a few times, the Pokemon TCG, they had a new little release today. They're actually bringing shiny Pokemon cards to the game. So now with the new release, you can get the shiny ones. But also, one of the interesting part that I did see is you can actually do ranked matches.
Yeah, that's coming soon.
So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how that works. But
that'll bring the meta.
Apparently, it's meant to have kicked off. I haven't actually looked, but there was an update that came through.
It still says coming soon in the app. So the button's
okay,
there.
Yeah. So they must have rolled it out with the update, and then they'll kick it off at some point in the near future. Look, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes.
That'll bringing ranked in will just bring meta decks to the forefront, which I know will upset AJ.
Meta decks are already there, to be honest.
Yeah, they'll be there, but they'll be more so.
And the second one that I was going to highlight is in the same vein, but Digimon is getting its very own mobile card video game.
Yes!
So in the wake of Pokemon TCG Pocket's runaway success, Bandai has announced Digimon Elysian, a free-to-play online card battler for iOS and Android.
That will be cool.
Yeah, look forward to that. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll chuck
another
two in
one
there.
for me to waste time on.
I'll chuck two in there just because one of them it actually relates to what you just said. But there's a new Digimon anime coming that's been officially announced called Digimon Beat Break. It airs in October 25. So that I was always happy for more Digimon because I think the cartoon, the anime, is much better than Pokemon in my opinion.
Yeah, I was going to say,
from what I remember.
Unpopular opinion, I think Digimon was more engaging than Pokemon back in the day.
Such a better anime. The storyline was so good. Okay, and then on to the other thing, a miniature game that me and Brock used to play a fair bit. I don't think Zach's ever played it, but it's called Monster Apocalypse. It's a game of kaijus and mechs belting the shit out of each other in a city that has destructible buildings and little tanks that shoot and stuff. It's fucking fantastic. It was we've talked about it before, way back in the podcast, but it was released ages ago. It died. Privateer Press, who do War Machine and Hordes, brought it back. And then they gave the license to, was it Mythic Games, Brock?
Yeah, Mythic.
So they gave the license to those guys to do a board game version of it on Kickstarter, which me and Brock backed. And we gave them a lot of money because we got everything.
Money.
And then Mythic, being the cunts that they are, decided we're going to use all that money on other things and not deliver this game or 4 other games. So sadly, we never got that. But Privateer Press, being the champions that they are, they've recently sold off some of their licenses to other companies. like War Machine, Hordes, I believe it's gone to someone else. Can't remember who it was. I think it might be Simon. And they've decided to make Monster Apocalypse a fully 3D printable game. So all their models will be released on My Mini Factory. You can buy them, print them, play the game. And thankfully, the nice people that they are decided to give all of the backers of the Mythic Failed campaign free miniatures. So they're giving us all the models for free. They don't have to. They even said in their little email they sent out today, legally, we don't have to do this. We're not legally entitled to give you anything. We're just trying to be nice people, and we'll give you the free models, and they're just going to roll them out over the site. So today I've downloaded 2 of the base starter set miniatures that you can buy in the 2 starter sets, and then a whole heap of other miniatures. And for those of you playing at home on the YouTubes, here's one of the models that I printed out. It came out fantastic, and they are great minis, great games. And yeah, highly recommend you get into it now that it's 3D printable. Super cheap for anyone like that. I don't know how much the minis are actually going to cost to purchase on My Mini Factory, but yeah, it's going to be good. So jump on in there.
Yeah, it looks cool. I'll definitely have to see you guys play a game and probably dabble my toes into yet another system. So I got 2 here for Giancarlo Esposito. The first one is he is keen. I think we might have talked about this before, but he's keen to play Dr. Freeze in the DCU.
Oh, yep.
So I think that would be pretty good casting. And then one that
excellent casting.
Okay, sorry, just butt in, Zach. Sorry, I just looked on My Mini Factory. The minis are $10 Australian for like one of the monsters, which is compared to if you buy them in resin, I believe they're like $50.
Depending on the model, about $50-$60.
Yeah, and then the packs of the little guys that you use in the game are $15 as well. Then you got the building packs, which are like $6. The building packs are $10, and you get 5 buildings per or 4 buildings per. So yeah, there you go. All right, you continue, Zach.
Nice. All right, so back to Mr. Esposito. So he's also confirmed that he was originally set to play King Cobra in Captain America: Brave New World. Who's King Cobra?
Honestly, I don't really know. For me, I did read this and was going to have a look into who King Cobra was.
Is this the guy from Breaking Bad?
Not that interested.
It's the guy from Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
So he played King Cobra. That's who he played in Captain America?
He played Sidewinder.
No, it was King Cobra, wasn't he? I'm pretty sure he played King Cobra.
He was Sidewinder, and he was meant to play King Cobra, but it got changed because Sidewinder made more sense for the setting that they were putting in.
No, because they actually filmed it all, and they cut it because they had what's his name? He's a wrestler. One of the guys, one of the WWE wrestlers was playing one of the League of Snakes or whatever the fuck they're called, baddies in Captain America. And it all got cut.
Oh, because I remember from the movie they didn't really use his name throughout. Like it was just
no.
I can't remember what they said it's called for him, but he didn't really have a name. It was just like an alias.
The Buyer. They called him the Buyer.
The Buyer. That's
because he was.
That was the leader.
No, the leader wasn't the Buyer. The Buyer was the old mate from Breaking Bad. Because he was the Cobra G.I. Joe, whatever the fuck his name is.
No. You've forgotten the movie, mate.
You've
forgotten the movie. You have, because he was selling to the buyer, and they were waiting for the buyer to get there. And that's why I was getting all pissy, because they kept saying, the buyer, rather than just saying the leader, because they couldn't say the leader, because it was that clash with all the fucking rights and all that shit.
Whatever it is,
because they didn't have
that's who he played. He was King Snake Man, but they just changed it, and they didn't. Nothing else changed. It was that's the character he was playing when it was all recorded. They just cut all these little baddie minions out.
Yeah, so on release, he was Sidewinder.
Fair enough. All right, over to you, Brock.
Shit, where were we up to? The Electric State premiered on Netflix the other day.
Good movie. I watched it.
Yeah, apparently it is doing very, very poorly. A lot of low ratings and whatnot, even though it got over 25 million views in 2 days. Yeah,
Lisa and I watched it, enjoyed it. She wants to teach it as a study in class. She thought it was had great real world theories and things in there. Yeah, it was great. I enjoyed it. It's cool to see all the robots having like like a 1960s, 70s sort of vibe to them.
Yeah.
It was great.
I
And
like that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
You go.
You go.
Sorry.
I was going to say, I thought it was going to be a bit funnier from what we saw in the trailer a little bit. But yeah, it was good. The ending is sort of a bit of a tearjerker at points, but yeah, it was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I wasn't as sold. I didn't enjoy it that much. Like, it was okay. It was fine. I think it got caught in between that we're making a movie that needs to appease young people and old people, and we're caught between what to do to appease both. So I think it got stuck in between that. So I did
feel that at one point where I thought they were trying to make like between telling like a humanitarian story and just like a robot action movie. But yeah, I said I enjoyed it. There were definitely parts that could be improved, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was that bad.
And one of the other things that's interesting about that movie is it cost $320 million, so it had a $320 million budget. So it ranks as one of the most expensive films, and yet being released on Netflix is quite interesting for that because it didn't get a theatrical release. So like,
yeah, I always wonder why.
Probably never really going to claw their money back.
Yeah, I wonder why the big blockbuster movies don't do theatrical releases anymore.
Apparently Netflix is starting to do it with a couple of them, but I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, it makes sense to do a theatrical release, especially if you're then going to bring it to your own platform. But I mean, Disney does it. It seems to work.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, like if it's a good movie, I think most people would prefer to watch it in the movies and enjoy it in the larger spectacle than
exactly
just at home. So
exactly.
All right, AJ, over to you.
Okay, so according to IMDb, Bray Knoll has been cast as White Rabbit in Peacemaker Season 2. Bray
Noel, did you say?
Bray Noel, yeah. She's, what has she been in? Nothing that I've ever seen. Nightmare Neighborhood Mums, Secret Life of a Dominatrix, Replicators, Secrets Between Sisters, Separate Sisters. Nothing I've ever
Never
seen.
heard of any of them.
Yeah. So it's a blonde chick. That's about all I can really tell you. But yeah.
Question.
Yep. If you ask me who the character is, I have no fucking idea. It's a chick
who's the character? Who's White Rabbit?
Yeah, no idea.
Okay.
I'd have seen it.
Cool.
Yeah. And I might as well do another one just because it's fun. What do we got? Scooby-Doo live action series is coming to Netflix. This modern reimagining old friends Shaggy and Daphne team up at a summer camp with scientific townie Velma and a strange but handsome Fred to solve the mysteries of the lonely lost Great Dane puppy who may or may not have witnessed a supernatural murder.
Yeah, I thought this was cool. We'll see where it goes. I mean, it'll be fun, especially if Matthew Lilliard's involved.
It'll be a bad guy in a mask.
Don't
Always
ruin it for people. God, you prick.
So I've got a Daredevil tidbit for the next one. So I think it was episode 3 where he goes to the school and has them singing to him. The director said they actually had to reshoot that scene and put in kids that were singing out of tune because they were singing too nicely.
They redubbed it. Yeah, they redubbed the audio to replace the singing because apparently the singing was too good.
Yeah, to put some of the kids out of tune. And just because you guys are doing 2, I'll do a second one. The Big Finish, Big Mouth, the final season premieres on May 23rd.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Oh, look,
I haven't watched it since like season 2 or 3.
Oh, it's a great show. It's fucking off the chains, man.
Big Mouth should be
definitely
mandatory for all like year 9 and year 10 students to watch because this is the shit they go through.
Yeah, that's
hilarious. It's a great
show. It should be part of the curriculum.
Captain America, Brave New World, it's coming out on Disney in May, so not too far around the corner, which is pretty cool. And a very random one that I seen was that Natalie Portman has been cast in Ahsoka Season 2. I
did see that. Yeah, she's playing a shapeshifter who has decided that the shape of Padme is who she wants to be appear as or some shit.
Is Brock gone?
I'm pretty sure Brock's frozen.
Abeloth.
No, there we go. We got Abeloth. You were like,
oh no, it was me going.
He's back.
That was me doing that. Abeloth. So Abeloth is one of the gods. So the idea is that they're looking at it kind of being, and forgive all the Star Wars people because I don't know the lore correctly, but you've got the 3 who live outside or within the Force or whatever. You've got the father, the son, and the daughter. and they kind of dropped off or died at some point in time through the Clone Wars movies or whatever it was. And then ultimately, Anakin is the way that he's being seen is that he's one of those entities now, ultimately replacing the son. And then they're using Portman's actor as Abeloth, or the idea behind her being that opposing person. So they're the two opposites for that balance of the Force. And that was the idea of her possibly being brought back in. Because when I read it, I'm like, well, that's fucking dumb. And then I read further and got a bit of an understanding. I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty sweet. So if they do that, that would that'd be awesome.
So speaking of the balance of the Force there, I saw something the other day that ties into that. So they reckon Anakin was born at the same time as Grogu, and therefore they reckon that's the positive and the negative of the Force. Like they're always born together to create balance that way.
Yeah.
Zach, on you?
Is that over to me?
I think so. I can't remember.
AJ. That was me, so AJ.
Okay, Archon Studios, which is a miniature game, board game company, has announced they are doing a StarCraft miniature game, which should be interesting. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Amazon has greenlit 2 seasons of The God of War, confirms the showrunner Ronald D. Moore.
That'll be good.
Never played the game, but I've
seen
heard
it.
good
I've seen
things.
a little bit kicking around about, who's the showrunner? This guy. Oh, sweet. What's he know about it? Absolutely nothing. Never played it before. What's he? What does he like? Does he? No, he doesn't like that whatsoever. So we'll just see where it goes. Anyway.
Look, that's most directors these days.
Exactly.
So speaking of games being turned into TV and movies, so according to reports, multiple Hollywood studios are interested in a film adaptation of Split Fiction, which is a brand new game that's come out, which is like a co-op game. So you need 2 people to play around, and you're going through like different mazes, and there's a bunch of those co-op games going around where you sort of got to work together on different screens, people seeing different things to direct the other person. So yeah, that could be cool. And then One Piece is coming back. Looking forward to it. On April 6th, we get a 2-episode premiere.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
That's not far at all.
All right, 2 more each.
So in the vein of board games, I seen a thing today where Tekken is coming to a board game.
Yes, it came on GameFound.
Yeah, GameFound. So, and I had a quick look at it because I kind of thought, if this is just like a back and forwards type thing, it'd be a bit silly. But it looks like they've got an arena where players will bounce around and whatnot and do what they need to do.
Like,
but apparently it's for 1 to 8 players.
Yeah, I was going to say
so
1
it's
to
gonna
8
be
players. That looks that sounds cool.
Yeah. So I quite like the idea behind that and the concept and whatnot. So yeah, it'd be pretty sweet to see what happens. And for my second one, because fucking why not? David Harbour on Marvel Studios Thunderbolts. I think it's exciting, and I think it's a sort of shot in the arm for what's next for Marvel. And yeah, it's full of pretentious Oscar nominees like Florence Pugh. We have to highlight Sebastian Stan as well. I mean, the credits are insane. And in reading that, I'm just looking at it going, yeah, I reckon he said that.
Yeah, he would have definitely said that.
Like, 100%. Like that character. It's great.
Okay, Glenn Powell has supposedly confirmed that a sequel to Twisters is in the works.
Yeah, I did see this. That
I need
was
to watch
really
that
good.
soon, yeah.
Oh, Twisters was
Really good movie.
really good.
Yeah, I just haven't found the time to
It
watch it. I
paid
could have watched it on the
homage
plane. I
and
just didn't want to watch it then.
We've talked about it in a previous episode when we did the review.
Yeah,
for
we've
it.
talked about it a bit. Yeah,
But it paid homage to the original really well. But it was its own movie. I felt it was way more scientific-y than the original.
so would you say it's a sequel that's better than the original?
Yeah.
But it wasn't technically.
It wasn't
technically a
it
sequel.
was
It would be a sequel.
It was a
because if it's in
reboot.
the same universe, then
It was
it's
a
a sequel.
reboot more than a sequel, but it is based in the same universe, so yes. And my second one, oh shit, my microphone's falling over. This one I'm actually extremely excited for. Linda Cardellini is officially playing Pamela Voorhees in the Peacock series Crystal Lake from A24. So many different things in that one sentence I'm psyched for. Linda Cardellini, for those of you who don't know, plays Hawkeye's wife in the MCU. She played Velma in the Scooby-Doo live-action movies. And Pamela Voorhees is Jason Voorhees, a la Friday the 13th, the mum, who turns out, spoiler for the original movie, turns out to be the killer the whole time. So she's playing the mum in the prequel series Crystal Lake, and A24 is producing it. I mean, come on.
I think that's going to be fucking awesome. I think they like it's something similar to what they did to Bates Motel, like because it was all around Psycho and it was like the bringing up and whatnot. So I think it's really awesome. Keen as.
All right, so exclusive momentum on the next installment of the Meet the Parents franchise is starting to gain steam. Sources tell Deadline John Hamburg is set to direct, and the original cast of De Niro, Stiller, Terry Polo, and Blythe Danner are returning, with Hamburg penning the script as well. So that could be cool. I've enjoyed the first three, so happy for another one. And something for AJ, which Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, and Meet the Little Fockers.
I never watched Meet the Little Fockers.
It was alright.
Yeah, I think Meet the Fockers is probably one of the better of the three. But yeah, they were all right. And then my last one is a new game coming out. Guitar Hero finally returning with new game after 10 years.
Yeah, we spoke about that
I thought we had. I just wasn't sure, so I thought I'd end with it just to make AJ end with a smile.
Cool. Incredibles 3 is in works at Disney.
What are you doing, mate? You only had 2. You fucking taking another turn.
Huh?
We're only doing 2 more. That was it. And then
technically, when you said it, he hadn't had his last turn, so this is his last turn. But you know,
all right, go for it, mate. Go.
Tomato.
I better find another one that's okay. Sydney Sweeney to star in a horror movie based on a Reddit.
Based on what? Sorry.
A Reddit thread.
Oh yeah, that sounds fucking. So it's just her bouncing around.
Oh. Can I say one thing before we move on?
No, we're done.
Actually, no, it's interesting. So Jack Quaid promoted the new movie Novocaine is in.
I've watched.
It's about a man that feels no pain. At the premiere, so he went to an NBA game to promote it. As the game went on, he was becoming more and more injured, so he would add more bandages and things like that as the game went on to replicate him in the movie. So
yeah, right.
I'm definitely keen to see that movie.
So the movie is great. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and I would recommend anyone to go see it. It's a great film.
Sweet. Yeah.
And then, did you say you've seen Mickey 17?
Yep.
What did you think?
Fucking awesome. Loved it.
I haven't
seen it.
So
did I. I definitely... It's another one where I thought from the trailer it was going to be more of a humor-y based one. The humor is definitely there, but it's definitely not the focal point, and it's literally just like one moral dilemma after another that leads you throughout the story.
I mean, anyone who thought...
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Anyone who thought it was going to be a movie different than it was didn't look at the director's name.
Because it's Jimbu, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, the guy that did Parasite, fucking Snowpiercer. Like, it was never going to be a happy-go-lucky film.
No. Well, it was listed as a black comedy.
Yeah. Which it is in parts, but it's more... Yeah, it's more like... just good, enjoyable, but yeah, go into it knowing that it's not just a straight-out comedy about a dude constantly dying.
No, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it and have told everyone that will listen to me to go and watch it because it was definitely enjoyable.
Okay, well, let's move on from that and let's jump into some painting news. Now, for those of you who listen regularly, previously in past episodes, we have we've nominated ourselves a miniature from the DC Miniature Universe to paint, and we each paint the same miniature, and then we chuck them up on Instagram and Facebook for everyone to vote which one is their favorites without knowing who painted what. If you've been following the contest, you probably could pick who's by now, but still, anyway. This week we painted Wonder Woman riding a horse. It was the film Wonder Woman, so Godot's Wonder Woman. And I'll let Zachary tell us what happened.
Well, that's option A, just quickly for those that haven't seen it.
Yep, this really good webcam quality.
For those listening at home.
Yeah, it's all right. They should have voted on Instagram. That's their fault. These are just last minute. Option B.
You can go to
option C.
You can go to Instagram and Facebook on the Reels, I believe, or Instagram specifically, and check out the actual video rotation of them.
Yeah, much better than the 2-second clip you saw. But no, it went well.
Also, all they're seeing is pixels move around. It's because it's webcam quality, baby.
Look, I'm trying to do my best here. So the ironic thing is, of the three, the one that came last is the one that was complete. AJ's did not have a sword, and mine was dropped the day I had to bring it in to the boys, so I had to repair it. As I'm recording the videos, I noticed I'm missing one of the horse's ears. So apparently, what this tells us though is people don't want to see complete models because, as I said, Brock came in last, AJ came in second without a sword, just holding her hand up in the air, and then I came first with a missing horse's ear. So I'll take the plaudits for that one, and we'll get the next one.
So it was a very close race with Brock coming third with 15 points, as Zach said. Myself coming second with 16 votes, and Zach coming in first with 20 votes. So it was a pretty tight contest there.
Yeah, pretty tight. And a massive thank you to everybody who jumped on and threw their vote in as well. Massively appreciated.
So
again, when we do the next one, just make sure you share it around and get your mates in voting. We take all credit and all insults in our stride. So keep them coming.
So I think what we're going to do, the next one, we're going to step away from DC for a moment for the next painting contest. I'm making an executive decision here, and we're going to paint a Monster Apocalypse model because we've just got them in.
As soon as he said we're going to step away, I knew it was going to be Monster Apocalypse. I'm all for it.
So
I would enjoy the creativity behind it rather than sticking to the palette of the comic hero.
So we are going to paint the Defender Extreme. This is the one that I'm currently holding. So this is the one I showed off earlier for those of you viewing at home. It is, for those of you listening, it's basically like a giant Gundam. Basically, just a big robot with like wings on the back, holding a little plasma sword. I'll
put up a video of it on Instagram when we get back after the weekend, and people can have a see before we start painting.
Yep. So this one, I think I reckon 3 weeks for this one. It's a big model.
Yeah, I missed that.
Catch that.
3 week painting time for this one, or 2 weeks maybe. Yep. 2 weeks. Let's go 2 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 week painting time. All right.
3 weeks. It's a bit chunkier.
3 weeks because I need a week to actually get it printed first.
That's fair enough. Considering Zach doesn't own a 3D printer.
And I need to wait for one of you to print it as well. So.
And I was going to say AJ might be printing mine as well, depending on how my printer turns out in the next couple of days. Fucking printers, god damn it.
But no, again, thanks to everyone, and thanks to the guys that commented as well. Appreciate it. But yeah, I was keen to follow the comments that told us to paint a Phantom just so I could learn a bit more about the character. But yeah, we'll go the Monster Apocalypse route. I'll enjoy that one.
Very good.
Okay, let's jump into some movies. Okay, so we're going to play a little mini sort of game here. Not really a game, but we're going to talk about 3 actors who are perfectly cast in the roles that they represented on the screen, big or small. So as an example, we're going to chuck this one out there, and that is Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. All right, so Hugh Jackman, everyone, that he is Wolverine for the entire generation. He's done it for 18 years now, or something like that. So yeah, that's him. So we're going to sort of pick 3 actors who we believe perfectly encompass the role that they played, and no one's really going to replace them. So who would like to start?
Well, I'll start because this was an idea I threw out there, and it came around because it's a rumor I didn't say because I wanted to say it for this part, but apparently Nick Frost is being cast as Hagrid. Now, obviously, with the Harry Potter cast coming around, there are a lot of characters where I've been interested to see who's going to cast, and Hagrid was one of them. I actually think this is a good casting for this role.
Oh, fantastic!
Nick Frost will play that well. But as I said, we talked a bit the other week about the Snape casting, and not sure about that one. But I said I'll keep it in the Harry Potter world. I'll go. I think Ron Weasley was perfectly cast in the in those movies. I think the actor Rupert Grint that played him was brilliant. Captured the sort of comedic timing that Ron had throughout the books quite well. And yeah, he was the first one that I thought of. There were a lot of the Harry Potter ones that came to mind. The Malfoys were another 2 I could have thrown out there, but Ron was my one.
All right, Brock, what's your first one?
The first one for me, because I went about this, I rattled several off in my head and couldn't really think, and then I thought about something different because you know how my fucking mind rattles off random shit.
Mm-hmm.
because I started thinking, like, as you said, Hugh Jackman, he's that role as a Wolverine because he's been doing it for 20 years. So then I started thinking, oh, like, you've got these people who've been doing, they need to have been doing it for 20 years or 15 years or 10 years and really fit into the role. And then I'm like, no, they don't need to do that, because some characters will do one role and you know them for that role. But then there's also actors who will do a role, absolutely fucking nail it, but then you know that they're going to move on to something else and absolutely fucking nail that as well. So, I mean, like, and one example of that is Heath Ledger as the Joker. Mm-hmm. You know him as the Joker because it was his last role before he passed. But he's also had an incredible career where he did some fucking amazing roles as what he did. And you just know that he would have gone on and done other roles where he would have been absolutely fucking fantastic in. So, for me, I tried to think of actors who, when you hear their name, that is exactly what you're drawn to, and you can't really picture them as doing anything else. First one for me, Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
Love that.
You hear Rowan Atkinson or Mr. Bean, and you're just like, that is it. Like, I've seen him in other roles since then, and you just look at him, you're like, oh yeah, Mr. Bean. Like, and that's who he is. Like, you know him as
for our
Mr.
generation.
Bean. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And for such a simple fucking thing, like, it was just him. Because it started out as a stage show. He was on stage just miming through someone was talking and he was acting it out and whatnot. It's fucking hilarious. If you haven't seen it, go find it and look at it. And it launched the Mr. Bean series, which also had, I think, 2, maybe 3 movies. And it's all fucking brilliant.
The funny thing about the Mr. Bean series...
There's an animated series of it now too.
The funny thing about the Mr. Bean series is there's like 13 episodes or something. There's fuck all episodes.
Yeah, there's not that many.
And everyone
4
thinks,
seasons,
everyone
4
thinks
episodes per season.
So many episodes, but there's not. It's like
I remember
40
sitting
towers.
down and watching through it in a night. Just put it on, whatever it was, watch through it, and I'm like, oh, sweet. I'll go to bed. I'll watch them all tomorrow. And then I woke up. I'm like, I fucking watched it all. How the fuck? I didn't realize there wasn't that much content, and for how little content there actually is for everybody to know Mr. Bean. Like,
and
that's incredible. Like, so I thought,
yeah, Rowan Atkinson is known as Mr. Bean by our generation, but even as the next generation, like at lunchtime, like half the time, if it's wet weather, the kids want to watch the animated Mr. Bean. That's what they want to watch. So like it's continuing to the next generation now.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's my first one.
Yeah, I love that pick.
My first one is this person has many roles that you could pick that are iconic and stuff, but in my opinion, this role can never be played by anyone else. They tried it, and it didn't work, and that is Jim Carrey as the Mask.
Yes, it's pretty iconic.
Yeah.
The only thing for me that I disagree with it is like, because yes, he was fucking great and iconic and whatnot. For me, I would go back to my previous thing. Is he has been so great at so many other
but that's
roles
not the
as
question. That was
no, it's not the question.
Was
I'm just saying from my
actors
perspective.
were born for a particular role, and Jim Carrey was born for that role, and no one else will ever be able to take that role. Just like Hugh Jackman, no one will ever take Wolverine from him.
Yes, I do agree with that.
The Mask, like his mannerisms, it was Jim
perfect.
Carrey at his best.
Because I actually think you mentioned something before when you were announcing your sort of spiel there, Brock, was I think like Heath Ledger is the Joker as well as Jim Carrey is the Mask. If there is going to be another one, they're always then compared back to that. So I think that's sort of that definition of are that character in every, like, for someone to be better, you need to be outshining that character in that role. Which Heath Ledger did that. But yeah, I think that's a good one, AJ.
Originally, the Joker was Jack Nicholson. Everyone was like, no one will ever be able to replace Jack Nicholson as the Joker. And then Heath Ledger did it and then went, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've got an out there one. So I think this is fantastic. I couldn't imagine someone else doing this role now. It is an animated movie, so it is a bit tricky. But Robin Williams as the genie.
Yeah.
I mean, but as we did mention last week, someone else did it in the animated series.
Yeah, but it wasn't him. Like the movie with Robin Williams doing it, it's just another level. And obviously that's to do with the budget and things going into it.
But you don't think Will Smith didn't do a good job for you, mate? Didn't come up to par with you for you? Will Smith, he wasn't a good genie for you? No, he didn't come up to par with the fucking William. No. No.
See, even think like to that as a call out, like being the genie. Like I even said when we were talking about it the other week that I was pretty sure that he did all 3 movies. Like I didn't even know there was another guy in the other movies. I was for the animated series. Yeah, I knew that one. The movies, I thought they were all Robin Williams, which they weren't.
No, but as I said, like I think especially if you just focus on the original movie, I think like Robin Williams like steals that show, and it's his comedic timing. I know it's animated, so it's not fully him in a way, but like his vocals and things like that he does in there, like it's just amazing. So yeah,
that's fair.
Well, apparently while they're recording that, they had like so much content that they could have made the movie 2 more times with different content.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised there. All right. My second one, and unfortunately, I wrote a bunch of them down, so I had to just pick and choose. Hugh Laurie, House.
Nice.
yep.
I thought
I can see that.
he just walked into that role and he was perfect in it. He owned it. You just see him in that position, and that's just what he is, who he is, and how he goes about it. I think he fucking nailed it.
Yeah, no, he did a fantastic job in that, especially considering the fact 90% of people that watched that show, most like all the Americans, thought he was American.
Yes.
And I find that hilarious.
Yep. Thought
And
that he's... And I love his history, like what he used to do. And so, like, so for Hugh Laurie and Rowan Atkinson, and I'm literally just piecing this together in my head right now, they both did Blackadder.
Yeah.
And so it was like an old school British comedy that they were both in. And I mean, Rowan Atkinson stayed a little bit more in the comedic route for most of his roles, but Hugh Laurie, like, this is a complete twist on that. So even when seeing him in that different light as well, like he really fucking hit.
Well, Hugh Laurie,
and yeah, it stands out as a position where
Hugh Laurie used to do Hugh and Fry. So it was Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie. They used to be like a comedy duo way back in the day, and they used to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they used to do a lot of like skits and all that kind of stuff, and they were really good friends with what's the name? The one from the Christmas movie that everyone watches at Christmas and cries over, with the multiple stories. Love Actually, the one with the wife who gets cheated on. The wife.
Sure. I can't remember her name, but
whatever her name is. Yeah, she was really good friends with him as well, and they were like a big comedy trio kind of thing for a long time.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Okay, my third one, or second one, because we're only on the second one.
Second one for you, sir.
My second one is, again, Brock probably won't like this because this is an actor who's done a lot of fucking famous roles. It is...
Not that I don't like it. It just didn't line up with how I was assessing it.
Tom Hanks as Forrest Gump.
I agree. I do actually agree with that one.
Yeah, like that.
Because
it was fucking iconic. Like no one could ever take that role away from Tom Hanks.
And I think to what you're saying there, like you talk about, because when you say Tom Hanks, the first thing you think of is Forrest Gump. That's straight where my head goes to.
Yeah,
that was good, Zach.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hey,
I'm here all week.
Okay, that's good. No, it's such an iconic role. The movie is to this day a fucking masterpiece. Still holds up in every single aspect, and he was just so fucking good in that movie. And
it's also got the biggest on-screen villain that we've ever had, Jenny.
That's another topic. Biggest on-screen villains. There you go. There's our number one.
And it also introduced us to a very young.
That'd be my number one.
It introduced us to a very young I See Dead People kid.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that was his first role. As Forrest's son.
There you go.
Yeah. All right.
I would also say it's one of those movies with the most quoted, some of the most quoted lines in it.
I mean, like you said, life's like a box of chocolates. Like everyone, even if you've never seen Forrest Gump, everyone knows that fucking line.
That one and Run, Forrest, Run.
Run, Forrest, run!
So I couldn't do this without touching on superheroes ones. Obviously, we mentioned Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I had a few But I'm going to nail on one that we've been talking about lately, though, because I think it's one that stands out the most for me. Is Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin.
Oh, yeah, nice.
I think he just does it so well. Like the undertone of malice that he has and everything from his actions to his voice and his mannerisms, I think are clear. When he does turn on the violence and the rage, it just captures the whole screen, and you are totally sucked into his emotions and his rage in those scenes. From like the car door scene in season 1 to him then like masterminding his way out of prison in season 2 to what he's doing now in Born Again. So yeah, I think I'm not saying it would be impossible to recast that role, but I think you would struggle to find someone that does it as well as D'Onofrio does in that manner that he does it.
My issue with that one, I agree, he's fucking phenomenal in that role. But my issue with that one is, and this kind of stems with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine as well, and even Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, all that kind of stuff. Comic book characters, in my opinion, are pretty easy to recast. Like very few you can't recast. So maybe Hugh Jackman, maybe you couldn't recast. It'll be hard, but because it's so easy to tell that character in a different styling, that like especially Vincent D'Onofrio with Kingpin, not many people really know Kingpin, so it'd be pretty easy to introduce a different, not different universe, blah blah blah, to a different version of that character with a different actor, and I think people would still accept that.
See, I think that was kind of with mine. Like I kind of similar thoughts to AJ's first one, to be the dick again, but I just sort of, for me, D'Onofrio, I know him from other things, and I sort of get drawn to him. When I talk about him as Kingpin, I'm like, oh yeah, the guy from Law and Order. So I'm straight away drawn to like.
You mean
I haven't watched much of Law and Order.
The guy from
nails this.
The guy from
Law and Order.
No, it's the guy from Men in Black. For fuck's sakes.
So I had another one.
I mean, yeah, the guy from Chips. He's the baddie in Chips. It's the guy from Chips.
J.K. Simmons in Spider-Man was the other one I was going to mention. J. Jonah Jameson.
I'll give you that one. I can agree with that.
I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
Sam, you're on the board. That was my mate Sam gave me that one. Sam, you're on the board with that one.
Yeah, that one actually nearly made it onto my list as well. Yeah, I think that was very, very good. I think you'd struggle to recast, or at least I think and then that comes back to being difficult. Like you could put someone else in there, but it just would never measure up.
All right, so my turn for number 3, is it?
No, this is my number 3.
Oh, your number 3. Okay, go for it.
This is my number 3. So I went with Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow.
That was on my list. It was on my list, but it's not what I'm going to say.
It was what?
It's on my list, but it's not the one I'm going to say.
Still didn't hear.
Yeah.
It's on my list, but not the one I'm going to say.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Good. Yeah. Continue, Brock.
Yeah, Cap Jack Sparrow. I mean, across I think they've got 5-6 movies now. It was
There's
iconic.
Another one coming out, I think.
Yeah, another one coming out. And even when they sort of did, I wouldn't call it a reboot, but like when they tried to revamp it with his son and whatnot. Yeah, they even kept Johnny Depp in it because, I mean, he's that continuity. Like he almost became what people went to see those movies for.
Wait, what one are you talking about?
I accidentally said RDJ rather than
No.
The most recent one. The most recent one was about the son of.
The son of
sorry, yeah,
and the daughter
of Orlando Bloom's character.
Yeah, and the daughter of the daughter of.
I thought you were talking about
the other
Jack
pirate.
Sparrow's son. I was like, I must have missed that one.
No.
Because they tried to do their sequel spin-off with
Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie was going to be the new pirate in a female-led Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh no! I was talking about the fourth one with Blackbeard and where they go out looking for the.
I liked them all. I thought they were all fantastic.
Yeah, no, but that one just felt like that was going to be like their spin-off because they were leaving every other character behind but Jack Sparrow. But then they sort of came back to the those original ones with that movie you're talking about. So
yeah,
but yeah, I don't mind it. I just think the last one, I think he's aging out of the role. But it's I think, which is why it's a good casting, is because it's hard to do another one without him. So
I think the last one he was a little bit tired because he had quite a long court case in the middle there.
All right, AJ.
Yeah, that was my number 3. So AJ, you got another
My
one?
turn now. Okay, my last one. Now this one I could have picked. There was 2 roles I could have picked, but I'm picking this one because A, the person created this role, and B, no one will ever be able to reproduce it, and that is Mike Myers as Wayne Campbell. It's Wayne's World. Wayne's World. Party time. Excellent.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
No,
The only drawback for me is I know him as Austin Powers before I know him as Wayne's World. That is literally the only thing for me.
I know him as Wayne.
But
I
Wayne over
100% get where you're coming from.
I could have picked Austin Powers, but I 100% know him as Wayne over Austin Powers.
Yeah. So you've probably seen that movie first.
What were you saying, Zach?
No, I see. I saw Austin Powers first before Wayne's World, but I actually think Austin Powers would be easy to recast.
Oh
that
yeah,
role
fucking 100%. It'd be easy to recast.
Oh yeah.
That's why I think Wayne's World is a better suggestion for Mike Myers than Powers.
Wayne Campbell is Mike Myers. He created the role on SNL. It was the first ever SNL movie, and it is a master. Both Wayne's World 1 and 2 are masterpieces, and no one could ever replace
Are they not
him.
redoing a third one now, or
There's been rumors and stuff, but
I'm thinking of Bill and Ted. Sorry,
Bill and Ted. Apparently, they're doing a 4th one now.
Yeah.
Yes, but no, that's another movie. No one could replace those 2 guys. But no one could replace Mike Myers as Wayne.
Yeah.
Done.
See, I was gonna one of mine I was gonna throw out was Keanu Reeves as John Wick, but I think although Keanu does a fantastic job, I think that is a role that could be recast. But yeah, so I threw this out to a friendship group of mine to get some options from them. So just going to rattle off a few, and you can say yay or nay. Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter.
He was recast.
I'd get behind that one. But the only thing with that is that's because I love that movie series and the books behind him as well. The thing with Anthony Hopkins is he's been around for a fucking long time. So he has done a lot of good stuff.
But see, I also think the dude that did it in the series did it better, in my opinions.
In the TV series. And he was really, really good.
Yeah,
I've just gone
I
blank
think he
on
did
his
it much
name,
better.
but he's in.
The next one is Bryan Cranston as Walter White.
I had that on my list.
I've only ever watched the pilot.
I wasn't going to say it is because I know him from. I kept getting drawn back to
Malcolm in the Middle. Yeah.
Gandolfini as Tony Soprano.
No, anyone could have done that role.
I haven't watched The Sopranos.
Anyone could have done that role.
I haven't watched that. That's why I didn't say it, because I haven't seen it. But
I think without watching The Sopranos, I get it.
A lot of the original X-Men cast got the nod in the group, and then so did Ian McKellen as Magneto and Gandalf as well.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't, because I don't even think that version of Magneto wasn't even good in my opinion. So it's not like he was born for it.
I personally thought that Fassbender did it better.
They were not my opinions. They was those of those others, our viewers. I was just trying to get the viewership onto the show.
Well, so, maybe the viewers need to listen more and learn more, because that wasn't correct.
Yes, we are the end of all nerd rumors, thoughts, and ideas. So agree with us or don't.
Fuck off.
But like, share, subscribe, and stick around, please.
Yeah, do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, we love you.
All right, what do we got next?
Oh, God.
What are we doing?
What did AJ say?
What are we doing?
I don't know. Oh, I'll throw out my last 2 that I had on my list anyways, just to throw them out there. And I took them off the list because I thought there was other answers to them. Mark Hamill is the Joker.
He will always be my Joker, because
that's why I put him on the list, and I took him off because it can be very easily recast.
But yeah, other people have done replicate, not even replicate. Other people have done his voice, but it's the same as old mate that did Batman. That's my Batman, but other people have done it. It's like Jason Ankles did it as well, did Batman. I liked his Batman.
Exactly.
Yeah, the voice actor ones are hard. Like even like when you think of like Tom Hanks as Woody.
Yeah.
People might say like Woody is Tom Hanks. It's like, well, not actually, because all the animators, anything that isn't in the movies, Tom Hanks doesn't do. His brother does. So technically, he can be really well fucking replaced.
Yeah, exactly. I figured I threw his name in there accidentally before, but I mean RDJ as Iron Man. I think that was a very iconic one. I mean,
they even made him look like him in the comics. So
yeah, exactly. So I think you've got like within the Marvel universe, I think you've got Hugh Jackman. I think you've got RDJ, and then I think in behind those two, you'd have Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I had Ryan Reynolds down for Deadpool, but I didn't know enough about the character. Like, I know he did a fantastic job in the movies that he's done. I just didn't know if that was, going to stick around and, someone else could redo it in a different version.
Whenever I read anything Deadpool, in my head, it's Ryan Reynolds. Like, the voice in my head when I read the speech bubbles is Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. The other one I had on my list was Ted Lasso, Jason Sudeikis.
Haven't seen it. Probably will agree, but just haven't seen it.
They've actually started filming the new season as well. There's videos of people filming.
I know we brought up the rumor last week about it being a girls' team, but it's been confirmed that he will be coaching a female team in the new season.
Well, there you go.
And one thing that I thought was an interesting thing that just crossed my mind because I don't even fucking know why. James Bond.
Sean Connery.
I had Sean Connery down, but there are so many different versions that, like, I think a lot of people have done good roles, so I didn't know who to pick.
Yeah, and I thought that's why it would be a good it's a generational thing because really I think Sean Connery would be like an older generation. The first ones that I seen was Pierce Brosnan, who was great. Yeah, I thought Daniel Craig was better. I just thought it hit better when I was watching it at the time. But I mean,
that's because when you, like you said, it's a generational thing because the Daniel Craig era are new movies. They look and sound and are just over the top, amazing. And Pierce Brosnan stuff are over the top corniness, but they look corny as shit. And then like your fucking Sean Connery, they're fantastic, but they're also like 70s and 80s movies, and they look like 70s and 80s movies. So our generation aren't really, or our generation might, but the next generation are never going to go back and watch them really, unless they're a super fan.
No. Yeah. I got the.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He got the.
The joys of remote podcasts.
Oh, that's fun.
What'd you miss?
Okay, there we go. All of it.
Okay. Moving on.
But yeah, so again. It's what I'm hearing from you the whole night. I'm winging half the stuff you say.
Most people do.
So that was our list of perfect actors cast. So let us know what you think in the comments, and we'll critique your ideas as you critique ours.
Okay, what are we putting this next section under?
All of them.
Gaming.
All right, here we go.
Gaming.
Well, I don't know. It involves a game. It's gaming law. Who knows? We're probably going to make a lot of people cranky with this segment.
That's what we're here to do.
Introduce it for us, Zach.
But the other week, or a few episodes ago, AJ posed a question: who would win in a bar fight between Spider-Man and Batman as a hypothetical? Caused an interesting debate conversation between the three of us. So
in which
I thought I'd throw another one out. Well, one of us was right because one of us agreed with you. Can't remember who, but one of us was. But so I thought I'd throw out the debate this time of who would win, first of all, between a fight between the Star Wars universe and the Warhammer 40k universe, both being sci-fi, multi-world, galactic dominating universes. I thought I'd throw the conversation out there. I honestly think there's only one winner, and it's not even close, but I thought I'd throw it out there.
I'm going to guarantee you I am on your side, Zach. But I will start off with a multifaceted answer. That'll be quick, I promise. Warhammer 40k wins because the lore in Warhammer 40k is so much better than Star Wars. B, Star Wars movies are 90% a pile of shit. as well as the TV shows. Star Wars books are pretty good. None of them are canon anymore. Warhammer 40k books, 70% of them are good. And they're all canon. And Star Wars fans are fucking toxic assholes, and Warhammer 40k fans are just neckbeards. So that's my answer.
There it is. We've upset him. All right, Brock, over to you.
So when you say who would win between the Star Wars universe and the Warhammer 40k universe, like AJ's gone down the route of the universe from a storytelling perspective and what is available within that universe. Or do you mean the characters within one universe versus the other characters?
Star Wars universe, everyone is on the same page, fighting for survival against everyone on the same page from 40k universe. It's universe versus universe, team battle.
So it's battle world.
Okay. Battle world. Battle universe.
Right. Well, and then, you know me, I pose further questions as to what it would be, as to like what does that mean? Is that everybody from the Star Wars universe at any point in time versus anyone from the Warhammer 40k?
Go for it.
Well, then it makes it a little more difficult, doesn't it?
It's not even.
I mean,
I thought when I posed the question,
I don't think I know enough of the Warhammer 40k lore to be able to answer properly. I think that based on what you guys have said to me and what I picked up from what you guys have told me, I think that 40k universe would ultimately win because of, as you said, the expanded lore within it. And with the knowledge that I have on Star Wars, I just don't think that would stand up to it. Even when you say, hey, we've got the Force and all this sort of shit, and like we can use the Force, and then you can get those god entities and whatnot involved, but then those god entities wouldn't be involved because, hey, we're just here to keep balance, yada, yada, yada. So they'd end up going in a balance pissing contest and then just get steamrolled. Like, well, I mean, that's kind of my opinion.
Your big thing, both have got gods. So like your Warhammer 40k universe.
That's the thing. Without knowing the lore of 40k, I can assume that there would be gods, but I don't know.
There's big fucking gods, and they're cunts.
Well, there you go.
And then you've got the god
straight off the bat there.
And then there's gods.
Yeah, you've got the god emperor.
There's god tiers of gods in 40k. Like, but even if you take away the gods, even if you take away the Primarchs, even I think like you look at the bare minimum of like humans against humans, foot soldiers, stormtroopers against the Imperial Guard versions. I think Imperial Guard win that fight.
Because stormtroopers can't fucking hit anything.
Neither Imperial Guards would be shooting this way.
Yeah, none of them would hit each other. It'd just be a stalemate.
The safest spot would be standing in front of a barrel, but like Imperial Guard just win. They've got more toys, cooler toys, things like that. You look at the ship size. I think like the Death Star is one thing, but I think the strike cruisers and things that are in 40k beat the spaceships there. Like I think it was hamstrung from the get-go. What I thought was going to be somewhat of a close debate, the more I thought about it, just wasn't.
I have a new answer. No one wins because they can't fucking hit each other.
No, but that's the thing. And this is why I think I said earlier, I'd like to rephrase this question if I could, because I think, like I said, because the expanded nature of 40k, all right, take out the Guard, Space Marines, and they can hit shit. They're going to steamroll everyone. Take them out, you've got the different, like the Xenos, who things like that will come into it and things like that. So, to rephrase this, if I could, because I said I know some of you are more into Star Wars than I am at times. Maybe not AJ after comments he's made. But what would be the cool, if you could go into one of the universes, what would be the cooler universe to go and experience, the Star Wars or the 40k one?
I think Star Wars might be potentially safer.
Yeah, I would 100% go to the Star Wars universe because the 40k universe is fucked.
All right. If you could go just as an ethereal observer, you were safe. What one would you want to go and observe?
40k.
Because I agree, 40k, that's not safe anywhere.
Yeah, I would go to the 40k, but I would want to go back to pre-heresy, to when the old gods and stuff were there, when it's like when the original, those two Primarchs go missing, and I'd find out what happened to the two missing Primarchs and stuff.
Like the Emperor's reign and things like that.
And the gods that because there was one specific god that they fight. I can't remember what the fuck his name was. But yeah, god that wiped out most things and shit. And yeah, so I'd love to go back to then and watch that shit.
Yeah, because like the god side of things in 40k is off. Like you've got the 4 chaos gods that are running around and things like that, like Khorne, Slaanesh, Tzeentch, and Nurgle. But then you've got like the Necron gods and things like. There's always been the rumor that the machine god that the Mechanicum worship and things like that on Mars is actually a Satan dragon god that's trapped on.
Yeah, the dragon god. That's the god I'm talking about. The dragon god, the one that supposedly the two missing Primarchs fought, and that's what made them go missing.
No, they reckon Ferrus Manus did it. The Iron Hands Primarch.
There you go.
But yeah, like I said, that's just a rumor that the machine god is actually a Satan god, and therefore. They thought, well, at least my friendship group thought that it'd be cool if the machine god ever came back, it would actually divide the Imperium again, because all the Mechanicum would go following off the Satan god and the machine god, leaving the Imperium without all their mechanics effectively to actually like build and construct and maintain their military might.
Can I please go watch both?
Yep.
Because so where I got this from too was I saw a clip of someone comparing Halo to the 40k universe, and again I didn't think that was close because you got the Tyranids in 40k. What are the things that came out at the end of season 2 of Halo? The Flood. Yeah, like those two sort of match up a little bit, but I think Tyranids
they are pretty much the same thing, except the Tyranids are crazy killing machine looking things, whereas the Flood are more a parasite that infects.
Yeah, I think because Tyranids have that aspect. Because I think the Tyranids are the Flood, but then the Tyranids have more to it than what the Flood does to be more of a threat. In terms of being in the safest universe,
Star Trek did it first anyway, so they did the hive mind first with the Borgs.
Yeah, but 40k is definitely not the safest universe because the Imperium would 100% just destroy the planet you're on just because of one possible sign of treason or heretic or parasitical possession. So you definitely that's not a university if you want to go to if you want to be safe.
Fair enough.
But I thought it was an interesting debate.
No, I think it's a fantastic one. For me, like I said, man, the Warhammer 40k world wins fucking outright. Like that is such a good world. Even as I said, I love the Star Wars universe in all the novels and all that kind of stuff. But 40k is just
I think what makes 40k so good, it's almost like down the lines of like Marvel and DC. You don't need to like everything. There's something there for you to like.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, there are enough different races and that are unique and varied that you've got the flavor that's going to suit you, from humans to superhumans to orcs and barbarians sort of races to the Necrons like being machines and just Tyranids and everything in between. So, and then as AJ mentioned before, you got the layers of like the Primarch and the history of, you've got the 41st millennium, which is what the game basically takes place, but then you got the 30k and the heresy taking place in the 31st, which is something different again. So
I think one thing to note as well is the 40k like universe, like ultimately even from a lore and a story perspective, it is far more aimed at an older audience as well, or a more mature audience. Looking like it's very violent.
It's Lord of the Rings. It's J.R. Tolkien just turned sci-fi,
turned way the fuck up.
Yeah, whereas
and to
Star
that
Wars
point, I
is
mean,
like
Star
the fucking
Wars,
Lone Warrior.
And to that point, Star Wars is aimed at a far younger audience, like from the start point. So therefore, it is more on the PG. It's more magical, like it's the Force, like it's fucking magic. So it is far more PG than what Warhammer 40k is, and because of that pure like distinction between the two, 40k will be able to decimate it because it is inherently built on the basis of being a far more violent.
Yeah, and Star Wars, I guess, again, coming to it, it was a very rigged debate the more I thought back on it, because Star Wars is more of a political storyline a lot of the times, where 40k, it's war. Like, everything is war. Everything is tooled towards protecting your planet, invading, taking over, those sorts of things. Like, so it's so
40k, whilst as you said, the war, like it that's a political thing in itself, but it's the violent part of the war. And Star Wars, with the wars that are going on within it, it's focusing a little more on the political part.
But yeah, that's
a good way to put it.
Yeah, they couldn't really call it Star Political because it doesn't really have the same ring to it.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, it's why I'm hyped for Cavill's 40k adventure on Prime, looking to see how they do, because what they do, what the storyline they tell, because there are so many different factions, races, as I said before, that the stories are potentially endless. And as AJ said, most things are canon and believable. Like he can go and tell a random spin-off story that can then link back in somewhere down the line. Like it's easy for them to then in the next edition of Space Marines put in Cavill's character as a special character in the game, and you can go in and play him that way. So everything becomes canon so easily in that universe that anything that's created can potentially be enjoyed by everyone.
Exactly. Like Jade Warriors.
Yes.
Well, that's not 40k. That's
I know, but
that's
it's
Warhammer.
Come on,
it's all fucking them
stick to the
blokes.
system.
Fuck me, mate. God, there's always one.
2 in this room.
All right. Well, as fun as that was, that has brought us to the end of the episode. Just to finish us off, lads, what have you been watching, enjoying, doing?
I smashed through Zero Day out on Netflix.
Is that good? Is that De Niro's thing?
Yeah, De Niro.
Yeah. Is it good?
It's okay. It's worth it. Definitely go give it a watch. It's worth a watch. It's okay. It had some really. I think it started really good and faded quickly. But there's things that it does in the opening and the start that is really cool. Like especially some of the visual tie-ins that they do and some of the things that they occur there in like the first couple episodes. They're pretty sweet. It's only 6 episodes, so you can knock it out pretty quickly. I think they're about an hour each. Worth a watch. Definitely worth a watch.
Follow-up show question. It's something sort of similar. Designated Survivor. Have either of you two watched that?
Yeah, I've watched.
Is that good?
Definitely all of season 1. Season 2, I've started, but I think season 2 from memory was kind of hard to get into, so I don't know how far we got in season 2. Yeah, definitely worth a watch. I really, really enjoyed season 1. It's a really, really cool concept. So for those who don't know, the idea behind Designated Survivor, it is a real thing in America, as far as I understand, where if there is an event of some kind where a lot of high political personnel are meeting in one place, for example, president, the vice president, the joint chiefs, et cetera, et cetera. So basically all of the heads of America are in a single spot. They have a designated survivor. That person is taken completely the fuck away from wherever they are and put in a safe location so that if something occurs to the government, basically, because that is the running government, this designated survivor will then become the president.
Yeah, they have an elected official somewhere ready to take over. Yeah, as I said, I saw the trailer for it when we were just flicking through Netflix the other night, and it looked really cool. So
it unfortunately got
Kiefer
cancelled.
Sutherland.
Yeah, so it got cancelled. Netflix picked it up. They gave it another season, and then they didn't renew it for a long time. And by the time they were going to renew it, all the actors had fucked off and started other jobs. And so they
and it was Kiefer Sutherland as well. So like he's obviously like pretty sought after, like straight off the bat. And it's got some other it's been a while since I watched it, but from memory there were a few other
the chick from Nikita, she's in it. She's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, definitely worth a watch. I would recommend giving that a watch.
All right,
at least season 1 and see how you go with season 2.
I'll see how far I get into it. So this is what's been on my painting table. For those that can see on YouTube, I'm working on a patchwork gargan. Started to do the patchworking, so it looks cool. And then I have become a degenerate once again. I resubscribed to World of Warcraft. So playing that through again, leveling a new character up to the new max level of 80 once again, because it's been squished down again. But yeah, can't wait to get into it and explore the new expansion.
Good. Well, I have been watching. I watched the first episode of The Studio, which is Seth Rogen's new show on Apple TV. It was really good. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
I saw the trailer. It looked good.
Yeah, it looks really good. And just Wheel of Time is. We talked about this last week, but it is. Oh, the most recent episode was fucking so good.
Is that number 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I'll have to get on that because I haven't watched that
yet. Dude, they nailed it. And it is just, if you're a book fan, like we said last week, if you're not, you're like, I don't want to watch the show shit. Fuck off. They're nailing it. It is phenomenal. It is one of my favorite fantasy shows at the moment.
So I spoke to my mate Sam, who is a Wheel of Time book fan, and he is part of that crowd that is anti-AJ at this moment. because he's like the show is okay, but it changes and twists things from books that he thought should have been left alone. So
maybe you should buy him a razor, take it over, and he can shave his neck beard off, and and watch the show and enjoy it. Because once that neck beard's gone, he should enjoy it.
Another one that Shannon and I watch, which it's getting a lot of hype around the internet at the moment, is Adolescence. So this was a 4-part limited series on Netflix, and this is the one that's going around and doing single shots. You guys are shaking your head as if I'm no longer here.
No, you're there. No, so I was laughing because I saw someone else on another podcast talk about this show. Like, it's about a kid being framed for murder. And the other person replied, "Oh, so is it a comedy?" No. When is a kid getting framed for murder ever going to be a comedy?
Every single time.
Yeah. So I won't provide any comment to that, but in any case, it's a good show. It's a good show. It is 4 parts, as I said, 4-part limited series. It does follow a kid who is accused of murder in the first episode, and they are all one-shots. And not edited one-shots where they do like a smart pass or a doorway and then overlay a new shot and whatnot. They are true one-shots where they have one camera going the entirety of the time. And the director or showrunner, whoever it was, has come out after, and they've highlighted how many takes it actually took to do each one of them. And episode 1 was like, it took them about 10 takes. Episode 2 was 2 takes. They used the
second take in the first one. In episode 4, they used the 14th take.
Yeah, exactly. So, which I thought was amazing. Like, because even as I started watching, I'm like, oh, they might be doing a 1 take here. And then the further it got through, I'm like, oh, fuck, this is a proper 1 take. The way that they're doing it, this is awesome.
I guarantee you there will be cuts in it. There would be cuts in them.
You reckon?
Like, yeah, 100%. There would be very, very well done, smart cuts in them. Just because logistically and money wise, there would be cuts in them.
Well, the only reason I'm gonna stay firm and believe that they're one-shots is because of this other video that I seen before I'd watched Adolescence and realised the connection. He came out and said, yes, they are one-shots. We did XYZ. And of course he did. Yes, I know, of course he did.
Of course he's going to say that.
And then they said, like, he highlighted that if it got to 45 minutes and someone did the wrong thing, what would happen? He's like, we start again. And that was kind of like what they were highlighting. And then he said, oh, well, if you compare it to a stage show, like, it's a similar thing. You get the stage show, they go up, they perform, like, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to take it for its word.
Stage show again.
What?
Oh, they said the wrong line. I'm going to restart the stage show.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
It's because a lot of the times they'll get into post and those things, and they'll start editing them, and they'll get to a certain point, and they'll be like, fuck, Billy Joe's in the background. We can't remove him, so they will deliberately shot it so that there were beautiful spots that they could cut if they needed to cut, and they'd be like, okay, well, we need to replace that for 5 minutes, and they just cut that 5 minutes in, and then they'll keep going so it looks like 1 take. I guarantee you there are cuts in them.
Have you watched it?
Yeah.
No.
You have?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Any case, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really well done. I thought it was a great story. I thought that the one-shots were brilliant from what I could see. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend going out and seeing it.
Well, you don't have to go out. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, you know.
He's got you there. Well, speaking of going out, AJ and I are going out for a golfing trip. Unfortunately, Brock can't make this one. Hence the golfing hat on. For those on YouTube, there'll be many of that, and possibly
for those listening at home,
yeah, possibly a few golf clubs being broken. Caden, if you're listening, your driver is not coming home. It will be broken this weekend by either you or by one of us. It needs to be gone. And yeah, we'll be playing for our third. Do we have a name for the trophy?
We don't have a name as of yet.
AJ's going to get it, but yeah. So we're playing for the third edition of the trophy. There is a absolute legend, a stud that's on it. The only name on it at the moment. So props to that young man.
There's the trophy for those playing at home.
For those listening at home.
For those listening at home, AJ's holding. We might take a photo of that this weekend, and we'll post it to the socials as well. But yes. It is only it's just your hand, AJ. Put it
It's a
down.
big wooden. It's
it is only my name that is
big
on the
wooden
trophy at
box
the moment.
on
So looking forward to seeing if someone else can join me on the trophy this weekend. But in saying that, it is meant to be pissing down rain the whole weekend, so it might just be a bit of a fun hit and giggle out there this weekend.
Sounds good. All right. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to Frantic Nerdcast as usual. We appreciate all the love, and make sure you share this shit to everyone you know. Let's get this thing blowing up.
Exactly. Yeah, 50 of you liked 50 of you voted in the painting comp, so we want to see at least 50 likes on everything. We know you're out there, so keep sharing, liking, and subscribing everything. It's going to be beneficial to us all in the long run.
Sounds good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, see you later. See you next time. Hey guys, thanks for listening to Frantic Nerdcast.
You can find all our latest news and information on Facebook or at franticnerdcast.com.
You can find us on Instagram at Frantic Nerdcast. Find AJ at Weird Art by AJ. Find Zach at Frantic Kaz and myself at Frantic Brock.
Please make sure to head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe for more YouTube-only content like Sequelize It and Plays Games.